Alex Carter had always thought space travel would be about stars and science, not misunderstandings and angry aliens. Yet here he was, standing in the vast golden hall of the Star Court, trying to smile politely while the alien queen, Mara, glared at him with an intensity that could melt metal. He adjusted his uniform nervously and reminded himself to breathe. Every alien in the room was watching, their multifaceted eyes reflecting his own reflection, like strange, living mirrors. He had come as a cultural liaison, representing the human trade mission. His task was simple, or so he thought: learn, observe, and report back. He had trained for months in alien etiquette, memorized phrases, gestures, and even practiced bowing in ways that would not offend. He had never imagined that all of it could be undone by a single word spoken by a young alien princess, Lily. The princess had a soft smile that made her eyes glow like twin suns. She approached him gracefully, her voice carrying across the hall with a musical quality humans rarely possessed. "This is my husband," she said, and the words seemed to hang in the air longer than any human speech ever could. The hall fell silent. Alex froze, unsure whether to bow, step back, or run. He had never heard anything so shocking in his life. Mara, the alien queen, bellowed, a sound that rattled the walls. "Why does my daughter call you husband, human?" Her voice echoed with anger, disbelief, and something deeper, a challenge that demanded an answer no human could easily give. Alex opened his mouth, closed it, then tried again. I don't understand. We are not married." "I mean, I am honored, but this must be a misunderstanding." Ara's glare sharpened. Her wings, vast and luminescent, spread wider as if to fill the hall with her fury. The other members of the court stirred uneasily, sensing the tension. Human ambassadors whispered among themselves, and Alex's stomach churned. He knew humans could get into trouble, but not like this. He had dealt with angry ministers, stubborn colleagues, and even pirates. But never had he faced a queen who could likely crush a spaceship with a gesture. Lily, undeterred, stepped closer to him, her hand brushing his sleeve gently. "Human, it is true," she said, her voice calm and unwavering. "He is my chosen protector. He saved me once, and I call him husband by our custom. I do not mean to deceive, but my choice is mine." Alex's mind raced. Save her? He remembered the incident now, weeks ago at the orbital station. A sudden breach in the hull had caused panic, and Lily had been trapped near the edge. Without thinking, he had jumped through the smoke and alarms, extending his arm and pulling her to safety. He had acted without thought of reward, instinctively protecting someone in danger. At the time, it had seemed like a small human act. Now, in the glow of the alien hall, it was enough to be considered a declaration of lifelong bond. The queen's anger did not lessen. "How dare you manipulate my daughter?" she shouted. "We trusted your kind to understand our ways, and now you bring lies into my court." Alex raised his hands, showing he meant no offense. "I swear on my honor, Queen Mara, I meant nothing but to help. I did not know your customs. I did not understand her words in the way you intend. Please, believe me. I would never deceive or harm your daughter." The queen's gaze softened slightly, but the anger still simmered. She did not understand humans easily, and humans did not understand her. The misunderstanding had become a test of patience and trust. The other aliens, though curious, waited silently, respecting the queen's judgment. Alex felt the weight of the moment, knowing any misstep could escalate beyond repair. Lily looked at her mother, then back at Alex. "I choose him, Mother," she said firmly. Her eyes were clear, filled with determination, not fear or manipulation. "It is my decision. He saved my life, and he embodies the values we cherish. I will not force him to stay, but I will honor his presence. He does not belong to me by law or tradition, only by choice." The queen's wings drooped slightly, a sign of internal struggle. Alex could sense her conflict, the push and pull between authority and love, between tradition and change. He tried to speak again, carefully. "Queen Mara, if it helps, I am willing to learn your ways. I am willing to respect your laws. I only wish to ensure peace between our peoples and to protect those in danger. that is all. The silence that followed was thick, almost suffocating. The court watched the exchange with eyes that seemed to see not only the present, but the intent behind every action. Alex felt exposed, like a small creature under scrutiny, yet he also felt a strange sense of connection. He was here not for conquest, not for status, but for understanding, and perhaps for a simple human act of courage to be recognized. Finally, the Queen spoke, her voice quieter, but still firm. You will remain under supervision. Do not misinterpret this as trust, human, but we will learn your intentions. You may not leave the hall yet. Alex nodded, relief mixing with apprehension. It was not victory, but it was a start. He had survived the first confrontation, but he knew that more challenges awaited. Human allies Ben Harris and Kate Miller, both experienced diplomats, came forward, offering support. They whispered reassurances, explaining that this was a cultural hurdle, not a war declaration. Alex appreciated their presence, though he knew ultimately he had to face the Queen and the Princess honestly on his own terms. As the court dispersed into smaller chambers for discussion, Alex and Lily were left alone briefly. She looked at him with a mixture of hope and curiosity. You understand now why I called you husband? She asked. Alex nodded slowly. I understand now, and I respect your choice. I only wish to do right by you and by your people. She smiled faintly, a gesture that seemed to soften the tension that had gripped the hall. That is enough for now. We will face my mother together if you choose. Alex felt a surge of determination. He had been thrust into a world of customs, power, and expectations far beyond anything he had trained for. Yet for the first time, he realized that human qualities, honesty, courage, and the instinct to protect could have power here. Not the power of weapons or technology, but the quiet, unassuming power of choice and integrity. As they walked toward the council chamber, Alex knew this was only the beginning. The first contact had gone wrong, and misunderstandings abounded. But he also knew that humans had survived and thrived in far stranger circumstances. He took a deep breath and prepared himself, ready to face alien judgment not as a conqueror, but as a human, a protector, and perhaps, in some small but meaningful way, a friend. Alex Carter had spent the night in a guest chamber within the palace, but sleep had been almost impossible. The golden glow of the hall and the memory of Queen Mara's anger lingered in his mind. He could still hear the echo of her voice, as if it had followed him through the corridors. He walked slowly by the tall windows, watching the alien city shimmer under twin suns, its towers twisting like crystalline vines. Everything about this place was beautiful and strange, and he realized how little he truly understood. Lily had asked to meet him in private. She arrived quietly, her steps almost floating, as if she had learned to move in the air itself. Her eyes held warmth and an urgency that made Alex feel both nervous and reassured. You look troubled, she said softly. Alex smiled faintly, rubbing the back of his neck. I didn't expect one word to cause so much chaos. It's hard to navigate customs I don't fully understand. I feel like a clumsy guest stepping on fragile things without knowing. Lily shook her head, a gentle motion that made her hair glimmer in the light. It's not your fault. The misunderstanding comes from the difference between our cultures. In my world, words carry weight, but they are not always literal. When I said husband, I meant someone I trust and someone I recognize as my protector. It was never meant to deceive. Alex listened intently, remembering the moment on the station when he had saved her. It had been instinctual, a purely human reflex to protect someone in danger. At the time, he had felt only the need to act quickly. He had not thought of bonds, status, or recognition. Now, he realized that what humans see as a small act can hold immense meaning in alien culture. Lily continued, explaining her culture and the significance of her words. She spoke about honor, choice, and respect. In their society, calling someone husband is a personal declaration, not a public claim. It honors the bond created by actions, trust, and courage. The Queen, however, misunderstood it as manipulation. seeing a human overstep her authority. Alex nodded, absorbing each word carefully. Feeling the responsibility that now rested on him, he admitted quietly, "I did not act to gain favor or status. I only wanted to save you. I never imagined it could be interpreted differently." Lily smiled, a quiet light in her expression. "That is why I chose to speak the words. Not to trap you, but to acknowledge what you did. It was brave, human, and unselfish. That is valued here above all else." Alex took a deep breath. "I hope to live up to it, even if I never fully understand all your customs. I want to respect you, your people, and your ways. I want to be honest, always." Lily's gaze softened further. "That is enough for now. Understanding comes with time. For the Queen, patience and clarity will help. For you, observation and empathy are your allies." Over the next days, Alex learned the delicate nuances of court life. He walked through halls lined with mosaics that told stories older than any human record. He observed the court advisors, their gestures and tones, subtle but rich with meaning. Every decision, every phrase, was layered with centuries of custom. The Queen's anger had not been a personal attack, but a reflection of duty, a defense of her daughter, and the expectations of her people in quiet moments. Lily met him to teach him more about their traditions. She explained the rituals, the dances, and the ways to show respect without causing offense. Alex practiced, fumbling at first, but gradually finding the rhythm and intent behind each gesture. He realized that human instincts were helpful, but understanding needed patience and listening. One afternoon, Alex found himself in a private chamber with Lily. She spoke of the incident on the station, filling in the details he had not noticed amid the chaos. The alarms, the shaking of the station, the frightened attendants who froze, the trembling machinery. He had acted without thought, yet each choice he made had ripple effects in her society. She told him how the courtiers had spoken of his courage and restraint, and how that had led her to call him husband, in the sense her people understood. Alex felt both pride and humility. He had never sought recognition, yet here, recognition was inevitable because he acted with honesty. It was a strange but gratifying feeling, to see a simple human instinct carry weight across worlds. He also learned the expectations now placed upon him. The Queen would watch every move, assessing not only courage, but character. He would need to demonstrate consistency, integrity, and respect. It was more than surviving. It was about proving that humans could be trusted allies, not only through technology or firepower, but through moral courage and clear intention. Lily encouraged him. Saying that the court valued truth above appearances, she told him not to attempt deceit or politicking. Humans often measured power in possessions or strategy. But in her world, power came from choice, loyalty, and clarity of intent. Alex understood that the coming days would be challenging, but also that he could approach them with honesty and simple human resolve. He spent hours walking the palace gardens, thinking. The alien plants were unlike anything on Earth, glowing faintly, adjusting to the touch. He realized that observation, patience, and empathy would be as important as his ability to speak or move gracefully. Understanding the alien world meant understanding the people, their fears, hopes, and the language of actions as much as words. In one of these walks, Lily met him unexpectedly. She handed him a small token, a crystal that changed color in his hands. A gift, human, a symbol of trust. "It does not mean you must accept the role I gave, only that you are free to choose. We do not bind, only recognize." Alex held it carefully, feeling the warmth of the gesture. He understood the depth of responsibility that came with being recognized in this way. It was not a crown, not a title, but a connection built on deeds and mutual respect. It was fragile, yet powerful. As the days passed, Alex noticed small changes in the court. Whispers of curiosity replaced anger. The Queen observed him silently, watching for truth in his actions, not the words he spoke. Court members began to treat him with cautious interest, their gestures less rigid, their glances more measured. It was as if a human quality, simple honesty and bravery, was starting to reshape the perception of his presence. Alex and Lily continued their secret conversations, exchanging insights about culture, values, and trust. She taught him how to move through alien spaces, how to approach courtiers without offense, and how to speak with clarity and intention. Alex learned to listen carefully, noticing the subtle signs of mood and intent. Each lesson deepened his understanding and strengthened his connection with Lily, though always tempered with respect and caution. By the end of the week, Alex realized he had grown in ways he had never imagined. He was not a conqueror or a diplomat using power or rhetoric. He was simply a human, acting with integrity, observing, and choosing to protect. That, he understood, could carry more weight than any weapon or political maneuver in this world. Lily looked at him one evening as the twin suns set, their light filtering through the crystalline towers. "You have done well, human. You have shown patience, honesty, and courage. These are what my people respect, more than any display of power." Alex smiled, a quiet satisfaction in his expression. "Thank you, Princess. I will continue to act with care and honesty. I hope that is enough." Lily's hand brushed his sleeve, a silent gesture of acknowledgement. "It is enough for now. The court will see in time. What matters is that you remain true." Alex felt a sense of purpose settle over him. The misunderstanding that had seemed catastrophic now became an opportunity. He would navigate the alien court with integrity, protect those in danger, and act with clarity. Human qualities, simple as they were, might just shape the perceptions of an entire empire. And in doing so, he might prove that humans were not merely visitors in the stars, but beings capable of trust, courage, respect that transcended worlds. Alex Carter knew that the coming days would test him in ways he had never imagined. The alien court had grown curious about his presence, but curiosity could easily turn to suspicion if he misstepped. He spent the morning in quiet reflection, walking along the terrace that overlooked the glowing city below. The twin suns cast long shadows, and the air shimmered with a faint, otherworldly hum. Every step reminded him that he was far from home, yet somehow felt a growing determination to face what lay ahead. Later, he was summoned to the council chamber. The chamber was vast, filled with representatives from every corner of the empire. The walls were covered in intricate patterns that seemed to shift as one looked at them, reflecting the complexity of the decisions made within. Alex's heart pounded, but he kept his posture straight, hands visible and open. Showing he had nothing to hide, Queen Mara sat at the center, her wings partially folded, her eyes sharp. Beside her were the advisors, a mix of alien species, each with their own expressions of expectation and judgment. At the far end, Lily stood quietly, her presence a calm anchor in the tense room. Alex bowed slightly, careful to match the formal gestures he had practiced. He knew that actions spoke as loudly as words here. The Queen's gaze fell upon him, sharp and assessing. She spoke, her voice measured, but still carrying authority. "Human, you stand before the council to explain yourself. Your intentions, your understanding, and your loyalty must be proven. We seek to know if you are worthy of the bond your daughter has claimed." Alex nodded, swallowing nervously. "Queen Mara, members of the council, I understand the gravity of your question. I am here to speak honestly. I did not seek to manipulate or claim status. My actions were guided only by a desire to help, to protect those in danger, and to act with honesty and respect." The council murmured among themselves, the sound like shifting stones. One advisor, a tall figure with translucent skin and glowing eyes, leaned forward. "Your words are simple, human. Words can be easily spoken. Actions must prove intent. How can we trust that you will continue to act honorably?" Alex took a deep breath. "I understand that. I cannot ask for blind trust. I can only promise to act with integrity, as I have already done, and to show by my choices that I respect your laws, your people, and your daughter's decision. If my presence threatens peace, I will step back, not out of fear, but out of respect." The Queen's expression shifted slightly. She did not smile, but there was a hint of curiosity. Another advisor, a smaller being with many delicate limbs, spoke next. You humans value humility, yes? But we must see humility in action. How will you demonstrate it? Alex considered carefully. He had no weapons to display, no political leverage, only his honesty and his willingness to protect. I will follow your guidance, learn your customs, and act only with permission and understanding. If a decision comes before me, I will choose the path that respects life, honor, and peace. I will not deceive or force, only act where needed, as you direct. Lily watched him closely. She had learned much about her people's ways, yet she admired Alex's courage and simplicity. She rose and spoke softly, yet the chamber seemed to pause as her words floated through the air. My choice is my own. I recognize his actions as brave and selfless. He does not act for reward or power. I do not force him, nor will I bind him. I ask only that you judge him by his deeds, as he has judged himself. The room was quiet, the tension easing slightly. The council whispered, analyzing her words, their own biases, and the unusual human approach. Alex felt the weight of their scrutiny, but he also realized that his truth and simplicity carried more weight than he had imagined. Humans often measured strength in tools or strategy, but here, strength came from courage, honesty, and choice. One of the older advisors, whose eyes reflected deep wisdom, spoke at last. Humans are different. They do not claim ownership, yet they form bonds of protection and loyalty. Your honesty is unusual, and your actions have proven intent. The test now is consistency. Show that your words are not empty by living them in the coming days. Alex nodded, feeling a mixture of relief and renewed responsibility. He knew that proving himself would not be a single act, but a series of choices, demonstrating respect, courage, and understanding. He was no longer just a visitor. He was a participant in a society that valued different virtues than his own. Yet he could meet their standards with human determination. In the following days, Alex engaged in tasks that tested his patience, understanding, and adaptability. He assisted in the palace archives, learning the language of records and history. Showing care for fragile documents and ancient knowledge, he mediated minor disputes among attendants, listening carefully and choosing words that diffused tension rather than inflaming it. He learned the art of observation, understanding that small gestures, attentiveness, and empathy were valued as much as great deeds. Lily often guided him, teaching him subtleties of alien interaction that humans might overlook. She showed him how a tilt of the head, a pause in speech, or choice of color in clothing could signal respect, agreement, or deference. Alex absorbed these lessons, practicing patiently, aware that each small success or failure could influence the court's perception. One day, during a ceremonial practice, a minor accident occurred. A heavy piece of ceremonial equipment began to fall toward the junior attendants. Alex acted immediately, pushing the nearest beings out of harm's way and catching the equipment before it caused injury. The court watched, noting the instinctive courage and quick thinking, and Lily's eyes shone with appreciation. These were the actions that spoke louder than any carefully chosen word. That evening, Alex and Lily walked in the palace gardens, reflecting on the day. You handled it well, she said. The court sees your courage, but also your respect. Human actions, when guided by honesty, hold weight here. Alex nodded, still feeling the adrenaline from the incident. I am learning that what matters is not my knowledge of customs alone, but how I act. Words without deeds are hollow, but deeds guided by truth can cross worlds. Lily smiled softly. You have begun to understand. My mother watches, not with anger now, but with assessment. Your actions, patience, and choices will define how you are perceived. Humans are strange, yet admirable in your simplicity and integrity. Alex felt a mixture of pride and humility. He knew he was only beginning to prove himself. Yet he understood that his human instincts to protect, to act honestly, and to respect choices were being recognized in a way he had never expected. The path ahead was uncertain, but he felt equipped. Not with weapons or authority, but with moral clarity and steadfastness. As the days passed, the council continued to observe. quietly noting how Alex interacted with attendants, advisors, and the princess. Each small success, each careful act, each honest response strengthened his position. He realized that this trial was not about domination or politics, but about demonstrating that humans could be trusted, not through force, but through integrity, empathy, and moral courage. Lily often reminded him, "Do not change yourself to fit expectations. Act with truth and clarity. The court will see that your human nature is not a weakness, but a strength." Alex smiled, appreciating her guidance. He began to see the trial not as a barrier, but as an opportunity to show that human values, honesty, courage, and respect could resonate even in an alien society. He understood that proving himself would require patience, consistency, and careful action. But he also felt a quiet confidence that truth, when combined with intention, could cross the boundaries of species and culture. The week ended with a private audience with Queen Mara. She observed Alex closely, testing his reactions with subtle questions, unexpected gestures, and silent scrutiny. Alex responded with patience, honesty, and attentiveness, never forcing an answer or overstepping. The Queen's expression remained unreadable, yet Alex sensed a shift, a recognition of his integrity and human determination. As he left the chamber, Alex felt a mixture of relief and anticipation. The trial of worth was ongoing, but he had taken the first steps to demonstrate that humans could be trusted, respected, and understood. He walked alongside Lily through the glowing gardens, the twin suns dipping below the horizon. Casting long shadows and bathing the palace in soft light, Lily turned to him and said quietly, "You are beginning to show the court that humanity has strength beyond technology or power. It is in choice, loyalty, and courage. Continue, and the Queen will see it too." Alex nodded, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. He knew the coming challenges would be many, but he also understood that he carried something valuable: human integrity. It was simple, yet powerful, and it might just change the perception of an entire empire. In this moment, amidst the alien beauty and complexity, he felt ready to meet whatever trials lay ahead, acting not as a conqueror, but as a human, a protector, and a trustworthy ally. Alex Carter had spent weeks learning, observing, and proving himself within the alien court, but he knew that words alone could not settle the questions lingering in the Queen's mind. He had seen the curiosity and wariness in her eyes, and he understood that her trust was not given lightly. Today, he would have the chance to speak openly, to explain his intentions and face the Queen's judgment directly. He entered the council chamber with measured steps. The room was quieter than usual, filled with anticipation. The advisors and courtiers waited, their expressions neutral but attentive. Queen Mara sat at her throne, wings partially spread, her gaze fixed on him like a sharp instrument, probing for truth. Lily stood near the side, calm and composed, her presence reassuring. Alex bowed slightly, keeping his hands visible and movements respectful. He took a deep breath and began, choosing each word carefully. "Queen Mara, members of the council, I have come to speak openly and honestly. I understand now that my actions, while simple from a human perspective, carry meaning here. I did not seek power, status, or recognition. I acted to protect, to help, and to honor life." He paused, letting his words settle. The Queen's eyes narrowed slightly, testing his sincerity. Alex continued, his voice steady. "I care for Princess Lily, yes, but not in a way that seeks to control or claim her. I would protect her as I would any being in danger, not for reward or recognition, but because it is right. I have no hidden motives. My loyalty, my choice to act, comes from human instincts of courage, honesty, and respect." The council murmured softly, the sound rippling through the chamber. One advisor leaned forward, translucent skin glowing faintly. "Human, your words are clear, but words alone are fragile. How can we be certain that your actions will continue to reflect this honesty?" Alex met the question without hesitation. "I understand. Trust must be earned and maintained. I do not expect blind faith. I will continue to act openly, respectfully, and with integrity." My choices will reflect the words I speak now. If I fail, I accept the consequences. I do not seek to evade responsibility. The queen studied him, her expression unreadable. The silence stretched, tension thick in the air. Alex felt the weight of judgment, not as fear, but as the responsibility of a human chosen to act with honesty in a world so different from his own. Lily stepped forward, her voice clear and calm. Mother, he does not act for power. He does not manipulate or deceive. He chooses to protect and respect. That is why I spoke the words of bond. Not to claim, but to recognize the courage and integrity I have seen. Judge him by what he does, not by assumptions or fear. The queen's wings drooped slightly, a subtle sign of contemplation. Alex could sense the internal struggle, the balance between tradition, duty, and recognition of something unusual in this human. He waited patiently, understanding that her judgment was not only about him, but about reconciling her daughter's choice with the expectations of the Empire. Another advisor spoke, voice measured. Humans are different. They form bonds through actions and choice, not claims or status. This human has demonstrated patience, courage, and honesty. Yet a single act does not define a lifetime. The Council seeks consistency, understanding, and respect. Alex nodded. I accept that. I will act with care, honesty, and respect in every situation. I do not seek to impress or manipulate. I only wish to act rightly and to honor the trust given by the princess and the understanding of your court. The queen's gaze softened, though she did not smile. She leaned slightly forward, wings shifting in emotion that reflected deep thought. You speak with honesty and humility, human. You do not seek to dominate, deceive, or claim. Yet your presence challenges tradition and expectation. Will you continue, knowing the scrutiny and responsibility placed upon you? Alex met her gaze firmly. I will, Queen Mara. I understand the responsibility and I accept it. I am not here to change your traditions, only to act with integrity, to respect your laws, and to protect those in danger. I do not fear observation or challenge, because my actions are guided by truth and choice. The council members whispered among themselves, evaluating his words and demeanor. Lily's hand brushed against his sleeve lightly, a silent encouragement. Alex felt a surge of determination, knowing that human courage and honesty were being tested, but also recognized. After a long silence, the queen finally spoke. Human, you have shown clarity, courage, and honesty. Your words and actions are consistent. You have acknowledged responsibility and chosen freely, not out of coercion or ambition. The Council and I will recognize your role not as a claim to power, but as an honored ally and protector. Alex's chest swelled with relief and gratitude. He understood the significance of this recognition. It was not a title, it's not a reward, but a validation of human values in a world so different from his own. He had been judged fairly, not by strength or manipulation, but by integrity, courage, respect. Lily stepped closer, her eyes shining with pride. This is the path we will walk together, human. Not as ruler and subject, but as equals, bound by choice, trust, and mutual respect. Alex nodded, humbled and honored. I will continue to act with honesty and courage for you, for your people, and for what is right. I do not seek power, only to protect and serve as needed. The queen observed them silently for a moment, her gaze lingering on Alex. Then, slowly, she spoke. You have passed the test of truth and choice. Your presence here is acknowledged, and your intentions recognized. Remember always that respect, courage, and honesty are the measures by which you will be judged in this court. Fail them, and you will answer. Uphold them, and you will be trusted. Alex bowed deeply, feeling the weight and honor of her words. He understood that this was not the end, but a turning point. He had proven that human values could resonate even in an alien society, that courage, honesty, and respect were universal measures of trust and integrity. As the council chamber emptied, Alex and Lily walked through the palace corridors together. The walls glimmered with the soft light of alien crystals, and the air carried a faint hum of energy and life. Alex felt a sense of purpose, knowing that he had not only survived the scrutiny of the Queen and Council, but had also earned recognition for his integrity and human courage. Lily spoke softly. You have shown them the strength of humanity, not in conquest or power, but in honesty, choice, and courage. They will watch you still, but the path is open. Alex smiled faintly, grateful for her guidance. I will continue, Princess. Every choice, every action, will reflect what I have promised. I will act with integrity and honor. They paused in the garden, the twin suns setting, casting long shadows and painting the sky in soft hues of gold and red. Alex felt a sense of peace, tempered by the understanding that challenges remained. He had faced the test of words and action, and he had shown that human nature, guided by truth and courage, could earn recognition and trust even in a world far from Earth. Lily looked at him, a quiet pride in her expression. This is only the beginning. But you have proven that humans can be allies, friends, and protectors in ways that are recognized beyond words. Your choices, guided by integrity, will continue to shape how you are seen. Alex nodded, feeling the responsibility and the honor of the recognition. He knew that the Queen's judgment had opened a path, not for domination or status, but for trust, respect, and the quiet, steadfast influence of human integrity. In this moment, amidst the alien beauty and intricate court life, Alex felt ready to continue, not as a ruler, not as a diplomat seeking advantage, but as a human, acting with courage, honesty, and unwavering respect for those around him. Alex Carter walked through the palace corridors with a steady purpose. The recognition from Queen Mara and the Council had given him a sense of relief. But he knew that true acceptance would come not from words alone, but from continued actions. He had learned that in this alien society, deeds mattered as much as speech, that trust was earned over time. He met Lily in the palace gardens, where the alien plants glowed softly in the twilight. She greeted him with a smile, her eyes reflecting the light of the twin suns. Today the court has seen the truth of your intentions, she said. But there is still much to do. You will need to continue showing that your actions match your words. Alex nodded. I understand. I will act with honesty, courage, and respect in every situation. I will not seek power or status. I only wish to protect and honor those around me. Lily guided him through the palace, introducing him to members of the court who had been curious or wary. Alex greeted each one respectfully, using the gestures and phrases he had learned. He was careful to show deference without submissiveness. His human sincerity seemed to surprise them, a quality they had not often encountered in outsiders. Many of the younger courtiers whispered among themselves, watching his calm, thoughtful actions. In the following days, Alex participated in various duties and ceremonies. He helped organize resources for the palace, guided visiting dignitaries with clarity and patience, and assisted in resolving minor disputes among the staff. Each action, though small by human standards, demonstrated integrity and careful attention. The court began to see that his presence was steadying. A human who acted with consistency and moral clarity. One day, a sudden emergency occurred in the palace kitchens. A containment breach threatened to release toxic fumes into the main corridors. Alex reacted immediately, helping evacuate the staff and securing the area until the alien safety team arrived. His quick thinking and calm demeanor prevented what could have been a serious disaster. The courtiers observed silently, noting his courage and instinct to protect others without hesitation. Queen Mara observed the event from a distance, her expression unreadable. She did not intervene, but her eyes followed Alex closely. She seemed to recognize a pattern. His choices were guided by principle, not self-interest. Lily, standing beside her mother, looked at Alex with pride. She knew that his actions spoke louder than any words could. That evening, Alex and Lily walked through the palace gardens once more. The air was filled with the hum of alien energy, and the glow from the plants created a serene atmosphere. Alex felt a sense of peace, tempered with the awareness of responsibility. I see now that trust is not given lightly, he said. Every choice, every action, matters. It is not enough to say you will do right. You must show it consistently, Lily nodded. That is true. Humans often underestimate the power of consistent action. Here, deeds and intentions are intertwined. The court will continue to watch, but they are beginning to understand your human way. Alex reflected on the journey so far. He had come as a simple cultural liaison, unprepared for the complexity of alien court life. Yet through patience, honesty, and instinctive courage, he had earned recognition and respect. He realized that human qualities, integrity, loyalty, and the willingness to act for others without expectation had universal value. Over the following weeks, the bond between Alex and Lily became more apparent to the court. Though it remained based on mutual respect rather than possession, he continued to act with humility and clarity, never overstepping boundaries, yet always ready to intervene when safety or honor was at stake. The courtiers gradually began to acknowledge him as a reliable presence. A human whose actions aligned with his words, Queen Mara called Alex to a private audience one morning. The chamber was quiet, filled with the soft light that reflected off the crystalline walls. She studied him carefully. You have acted consistently and with integrity. Your human nature, which is different from ours, has shown qualities that are admirable. I see that your intentions are genuine and your courage is not for show but comes from your character. Alex bowed respectfully. Thank you, Queen Mara. I am honored by your recognition. I only wish to act rightly and to continue to serve as needed, without claiming more than what is given. The Queen's gaze softened further. The title you hold among my people must be clarified. You are not husband, for that implies a claim you have not sought. Instead, you will be recognized as bonded Alaya, title never before given to an outsider. It signifies trust, mutual respect, and a willingness to act in defense of our people when necessary. Alex felt a mixture of awe and humility. The title was not power in the traditional sense, but a mark of profound trust. It acknowledged his courage, integrity, and respect. Not through coercion or ambition, but through the simple, consistent choices he had made. Lily stepped forward, her expression proud yet gentle. I accept this human. The bond is not one of ownership, but of trust, choice, and shared understanding. Alex nodded, deeply moved. I will honor this bond with every action I take. It is not a title for me, but a responsibility, and I accept it fully. The Queen observed them both, a quiet approval in her gaze. She had watched her daughter grow. But she had also seen a human whose integrity and courage could not be measured by conventional means. She realized that humanity's strength was not in weapons or technology, but in the choice to act rightly, to protect, and to respect others freely. Over the following months, Alex continued his duties as a bonded ally. He mediated disputes, assisted in diplomatic missions, and helped train young attendants in safety and responsibility. His presence was respected across the empire, not for dominance, but for steadfastness, honesty, and moral clarity. Humans became known not only for their technology, but for the integrity that Alex exemplified. Lily and Alex continued their conversations and training sessions, building mutual understanding and trust. Their bond was admired, not envied, for it represented a choice, not coercion. The Queen, observing from afar, reflected on the lessons this human had brought, that strength lies not in power or conquest, but in the ability to choose wisely, act bravely, and maintain integrity even under pressure. One evening, as the twin suns set behind the palace towers, Alex stood with Lily overlooking the city. The light shimmered across the crystalline structures, and the gentle hum of the alien world filled the air. He felt a deep sense of fulfillment, knowing that he had navigated a world far from his own, acted with integrity, and gained recognition through human qualities. Lily turned to him and spoke softly. You have shown humanity's true strength, not in conquest or claim, but in honesty, courage, and choice. My people now see that these qualities are universal, and they respect them. Alex smiled, feeling both humility and pride. I am honored to have been part of this world, and I will continue to act with integrity and respect. The bond we share is not a claim, but a responsibility, and I will honor it always." The queen watched from a distance, her expression thoughtful yet approving. She understood now that her daughter's choice and the human's actions reflected values that transcended species. The empire had gained a new perspective, one that showed that humanity's strength lay not in force but in moral courage. Choice, Alex felt. Alex felt a quiet confidence as he looked at the city. The journey had been long and challenging, but it had proven that human qualities could bridge worlds, earn trust, and create bonds based on respect and choice, rather than coercion or fear. In the alien court, amidst beauty, tradition, and complexity, he had shown that humans could be allies, protectors, and bearers of integrity. As night fell and the city glimmered under the twin moons, Alex and Lily walked together not as ruler and subject, but as equals, bonded by trust, courage, and mutual respect. Alex understood that the journey was ongoing, but he also knew that he had fulfilled his role with honesty and integrity. Humanity's values had been recognized, not through power or manipulation, but through the quiet strength of choice, protection, and unwavering moral clarity. In this moment, he felt at home in an alien world, trusted, respected, and ready to continue acting with honor for the good of all. Alex Carter had been living in the alien capital for months now, and the initial shock of culture and expectations had transformed into a steady rhythm of duty, learning, and cautious friendships. As a bonded ally, he had responsibilities beyond what he had imagined. Yet he found a deep satisfaction in acting honestly, helping those in need, and being recognized for human values rather than power. The palace awoke to a quiet hum that ran through the crystalline towers as Alex walked along the terraces. The twin suns cast gentle light over the city, and the alien flora glimmered faintly. Responding to his presence as if acknowledging a familiar guest, he reflected on the journey so far, the first encounter with Queen Mora's anger, the lessons from Lily, and the days spent proving himself through simple yet meaningful actions. Each step had taught him patience, observation, and the weight of choice. Lily approached, her presence as graceful and calm as ever. "Good morning, Alex," she said softly. Her eyes held warmth, but there was a spark of excitement that he had seen only occasionally, hinting at a new challenge or adventure. "Today, the Council wishes to observe a joint mission you will undertake. It is an opportunity to demonstrate human adaptability and judgment beyond the palace." Alex nodded. He had prepared for such duties but never expected to be assessed in unfamiliar territories. The Council's intentions were clear. They wanted to see how he would act in complex, unpredictable situations. The task would require courage, observation, and the ability to make moral decisions under pressure, qualities humans valued. Instinctively, the mission involved traveling to a distant part of the empire where a neighboring system had experienced a sudden environmental disturbance. A previously stable planetary ecosystem had begun to destabilize, causing danger to the inhabitants and local wildlife. Alex, accompanied by a small group of alien scientists and palace envoys, boarded the sleek, translucent transport craft. The hum of the engines resonated through his chest, a steady reminder that this world was alive in ways unfamiliar but captivating. Upon arrival, Alex observed the chaos. Geysers of alien flora had begun erupting erratically, releasing spores and energy currents that threatened the settlements. The local inhabitants were in panic, trying to safeguard their homes and families. Alex's first instinct was to move toward the nearest civilians to ensure their safety, while also assessing the hazards around him. He coordinated with the alien scientists, who explained the unstable energy patterns. Humans relied on intuition and improvisation, and Alex quickly began directing people to safe zones, using simple, clear commands. The aliens around him were initially hesitant, unaccustomed to the human style of immediate decision-making, but soon they followed his lead, as his calmness and decisiveness became evident. Lily observed his approach closely. She had seen him act with courage and integrity within the palace, but seeing him in the field, facing unpredictable danger, revealed a different aspect of human adaptability. Alex did not panic, nor did he act rashly. He assessed, made quick judgments, and adjusted plans as conditions changed. He instructed groups on safe evacuation routes, stabilized precarious structures, and even used his physical strength to prevent accidents that could have caused injuries. The mission extended through the day. Alex navigated treacherous terrain, unpredictable energy bursts, and the emotional strain of panicked civilians. He remained calm, patient, and attentive, ensuring that no action was taken without considering the consequences. His human instinct to protect life, balanced with thoughtful judgment, allowed the mission to proceed smoothly despite the dangers. As the sun began to set, the environmental disturbances gradually stabilized. The alien scientists had managed to recalibrate their equipment based on his observations and recommendations. The local population, though exhausted and frightened, expressed gratitude. Alex's actions had prevented loss of life, minimized damage, and inspired confidence in the human approach to problem solving. Later, during a debrief with the council, Queen Mara spoke first. Her voice carried a tone of measured approval. "Human, your actions demonstrate adaptability, courage, and care. You do not seek glory, only to act rightly and protect life. Your choices in this mission reflect what we have observed in the palace: honesty, integrity, and moral courage." Alex bowed respectfully. "Thank you, Queen Mara. My actions are guided by human instincts to protect and by the understanding I have gained here. I hope they reflect both respect for your people and responsibility for those in danger." Another advisor, whose translucent limbs shimmered under the chamber light, spoke. "Your human qualities are remarkable. Your decisions are deliberate and effective. It is clear that your presence among us is not only tolerated but beneficial. Your ability to adapt while maintaining moral clarity is rare, even among our own species." Lily stepped forward, her eyes shining. "This mission proves what I have always known. Humans act not out of ambition, but with intention and courage." Alex exemplifies the values we admire: honesty, bravery, and respect for life. The Empire is fortunate to witness this. After the council meeting, Alex and Lily walked through the palace gardens, reflecting on the day. Alex felt a quiet satisfaction, tempered by the knowledge that the challenges were ongoing. The Empire was vast and complex, and each mission, each interaction, provided new lessons and tests. He understood that the trust he had earned was not permanent, but needed to be maintained through consistent action and integrity. Lily spoke softly. "You have shown the court and the people that human instincts, courage and care, not just words but deeds that influence and inspire. This is the path forward. Continue as you have, and the Empire will see the value of humanity itself." Alex smiled faintly, grateful for her guidance. "I will, Princess. Every action, every choice, will reflect the principles I hold. I will continue to act with integrity and protect those in need, no matter the circumstances." As the weeks turned into months, Alex engaged in more missions across the Empire. He assisted in disaster relief, mediated conflicts, and helped improve understanding between distant populations. Each experience further solidified his reputation as a human whose courage and honesty were as reliable as his willingness to act for the greater good. The court began to see him as more than an outsider. He was a valued ally whose presence strengthened the bonds between worlds. Humans were no longer perceived merely as visitors or traders. Alex's actions had demonstrated that humanity's values choice, courage, integrity were universal and respected. Queen Mara observed quietly from the palace balcony during one mission report. She had initially been wary of the human presence, concerned for her daughter and the Empire's traditions. Yet she now understood that humans brought something different: a perspective rooted in integrity, a willingness to act morally even when the consequences were uncertain, and a courage to protect life without seeking control or reward.